Welcome back, AACPS staff. In this short video, we're going to focus on an accessibility tool that's built into Nearpod, and that is Microsoft's Immersive Reader. Immersive Reader is great for any slides that contain text because it can help increase the student's comprehension of that text in that lesson. So when you're on a slide that contains content or text here in Nearpod, you'll usually find Immersive Reader in the upper left-hand corner. And you're looking for this icon that looks like a book with a small speaker on it. Occasionally in some of the activities, this icon will move to the upper right-hand corner. So if you don't see it in the left, just take a look around your screen to make sure that accessibility is available with the Immersive Reader on those content slides. If the student needs a little bit of assistance with understanding the text here, they can click on the Immersive Reader tool, and it's actually going to open in another window here where it's going to change the text and the appearance of the slide. And some of this change is a part of what Immersive Reader does, simply making the text a little bit bigger, removing the background color or theme that was in the slide to increase readability. But then you'll also find additional features available in Immersive Reader, specifically the tools we have down here at the bottom of the screen, as well as those in the upper right-hand corner. So let's go through what these different tools allow the students to do. Beginning with our tool at the bottom center, this is the ability for students to choose to have the text read aloud for them simply by clicking the play button.
A squat gray building of only 34 stories.
They even have the ability to change some of those voice settings using this gear icon just to the right of the play button. They can change the speed with which the text is read here and also choose the voice that is more compatible with their listening style. Let's move our attention to the upper right-hand corner and take a look at the tools available here. Starting with the tool on the left, this is our Text Preferences tool in Immersive Reader. That allows me to change the size of the font to increase readability. I can even increase the line spacing or decrease the line spacing. Then I can change the font style to a sans serif, a serif style font, or even Comic Sans. And then I can change the themes or the color of the text and the background there. So if I visually prefer to read light text on a dark background, I can change that. I can change it so that it's yellow or a brighter background. You even have more colors down here if those initial options don't work for you. Moving on to our second option here, we see the grammar options available with Immersive Reader. This allows me to turn on syllables if that might increase my readability, and even highlight certain parts of speech. So if students need to draw their attention to the nouns contained in the sentences, the verbs, and so on. And I can even change the colors. So if red is not a color that I can easily see, I can change that color to green so that verbs would be highlighted in green instead. Our final stop on our Immersive Reader tools here in the upper right-hand corner are to change our reading preferences. One of the reading preferences is line focus. So instead of fitting as many lines of text on the screen as it can, I can have it show just 3 lines or just 1 line of text at the time. Next, I have the ability to use the picture dictionary, which is on by default. And what the picture dictionary allows me to do is select on a particular word, and then it will pop out any pictures associated with that word. I even have the ability to choose to have just this single word read aloud to me if I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Shield.
Returning to our reading preferences here, then we have the ability to choose the language to translate the document. If I choose a different language, I have the additional option to choose whether or not I am translating a single word or the entire document into that other language. Once I have translated the document, if I return to the play button at the bottom, it will now read the document to me in that other translated language.
Grys gebou van slegs 34 verdiepings.
When the students are done viewing the text in the other language, they can click back on original or return to the reading preferences to translate it back to English. If students are finished using the Immersive Reader tool on this particular slide, they would simply click the arrow in the upper left to be taken back to the composed Nearpod lesson, which brings back the theme and all of the text on this content slide, and then they can use their navigation tools to move on to additional content or activities contained in this lesson. There are some important things for teachers to note about Immersive Reader here inside of Nearpod. The most important is that if you import a file from outside of Nearpod, meaning your PDFs, PowerPoints, or even Google Slides that are imported into Nearpod, Immersive Reader will not be available. And that's because those slides are basically going to come in as a picture of the content contained on the slide or the page. And therefore, Nearpod doesn't recognize text versus pictures contained on the slide. So Immersive Reader is not available. This is one of the reasons that we really like using the add-on inside of Google Slides and then bringing that into Nearpod. That's not an import into Nearpod, that's using the add-on. If I go into Nearpod, I choose Create Lesson, and then I choose the option down here to upload files. I am importing files into Nearpod. So regardless of the choice that I make, whether I'm uploading a file that I have on my desktop, choosing something from Google Drive or OneDrive, I am importing this in, and Nearpod is going to treat all of that content as though it were a picture of the content on each slide or page. And finally, you'll want to keep this in mind for any of the files that you might choose to use from the Nearpod district or school library. Since you don't know what tool the teacher used to create that file initially, you cannot be sure that Immersive Reader will function in that file. If you choose to bring it into your library, you'll want to open it and actually see if Immersive Reader is available for you as the teacher. If it is, then it will be available for your students as well. So I hope this video tutorial has helped you see how you can use Immersive Reader in your Nearpod lessons to increase your students' comprehension of any of their content slides.